What's up, everybody? How's it doing? How you going? How's it doing? How you doing? How's it going? Hope all is well in this evening. Listen, before we get started, click the like button with the thumbs up. Please do that now. Get that out of the way. Those who come in late, do it as soon as you get in here. Hit the subscribe button for me, and consider subscribing. Click the bell for notifications so that the video will come up in the feed when we go live. Also, before I get to how many days until, check out the nostalgic shirt idea I came up with. Y'all like this? Somebody in the chat, tell me. I would rock that. If you would rock this shirt, type out I would rock that. Just curious. I'm a big Tecmo Bowl nerd, so I want to see who's with me on this. So, I told y'all yesterday I was going to get greedy. I restrained myself. I could have went more. I could have did double, but I decided to restrain myself. So the 1A for days until is going to be the one and only Troy Smith. You know I had to do it. Troy, the Heisman Trophy winner, Smith. I had to do it, man. The Michigan killer, you know what I'm saying? Threw one of the prettiest balls here at Ohio State. Started off a kick returner out of Cleveland Glenville High School, athlete, and became one of the best quarterbacks in Ohio State history. Had to go with Troy Smith. All right. Now, my 1B is the homie Ryan Shazier, the linebacker. Came in here very lanky and wiry, but will smack you. And so Ryan Shazier, love that kid. Obviously, we know he suffered that injury. Thank God he was able to bounce back and, walk again and all that stuff. He definitely has a story and a journey. But I love me some Ryan Shazier. East and West will come up and smack you no matter who you were. And my honorable mention, my brother, my good brother, Joe Cooper, the linebacker. Great guy here from Columbus, Ohio. He's another dude that would hit you. He's another guy also that was he sacked Drew. I think he's the only one who sacked Drew Brees in that game against Purdue, that game we lost in the last minute at Purdue, but he played very well. My guy, Joe Cooper, if you're out there, man, peace and love, brother. Wanted to give you an honorable mention and shout you out, man. So also remember, your super chats go to the pay it forward, military, first responders. We're going to take care of them because they take care of us. I'm very curious to see what Nevada thinks about my how many days until. That's 10 days until the game. What are your thoughts on my selections?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to get past Troy Smith because he's in the Ring of Honor. He's a Heisman winner. He is the Wolverine killer. Arguably, I mean, in the discussion for the greatest quarterback ever at Ohio State, I'm sure there's other guys that we could, debate back and forth.
Yeah.
But boy, he was fun to watch. He was fun to watch, and uh, you know, you think about the different time. He had got banged for that $500 handshake or whatever the heck it was, and
Yeah.
you know, you know, if that was different, maybe things are, a lot of things are different. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Oh yeah.
So, you
That
know,
Texas game for one. But
yeah.
but
So,
whatever.
yeah, yeah. Just such a different time. But boy, he was great, and Ryan Shazier and Joe Cooper. I mean, it's just like it's fun to watch those guys because the 10 you normally associate it with with a quarterback, but like you said, we've had some great defensive players that have worn that, and the guys that have come up with big plays, made some big plays, and I love it. I love you're kind of going deep into the vault there, being a little obscure with it, but because for me it was Troy Smith. I mean, Troy Smith is synonymous with the number 10,
Yeah.
and it's such a weird story because he was, I'm pretty sure he was the last commitment in that recruiting class, late add
Yeah.
to that recruiting class, and then he ends up in the Ring of Honor. So whenever you're getting yourself stuck on recruiting or recruiting rankings, or are we .02 behind this thing, or is this guy
Right.
6 people behind that person? Man, Troy Smith was the last guy. I mean, they weren't even going to offer him. and then they offered him, and like you said, they offered him as a kick returner. You know, I mean, nobody thought that he ended up playing quarterback at Ohio State. I mean, nobody. And he ends up maybe being the best quarterback to ever play at Ohio State. So
Yeah.
it's you know, it's a cautionary tale. It's a great story. It's what I love about college football so much. And but you know, the thing I love the most about that is that we're only 10 days away from the Texas game.
Yeah.
10 days away from the Texas game, man. That's crazy. This offseason has been like, you know, it's flown by on one hand. On the other hand, it seems like it's been a million years since we've had football, but in 10 days, we get to kind of re-engage and get back to the game that I love so much in college football. And I just can't. I'm so excited. I wish it was tomorrow.
Yeah, and I keep honestly, this will sound goofy, but it's like it's not that I'm forgetting, but it's just not dawning on me that saying is rocking number 10.
I know.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's an icon. It's a Troy Smith's number, Heisman Trophy winner. So, which makes me think I don't know what the criteria is for retiring numbers at Ohio State. Like, I don't know what the criteria is, but and I'm not saying I'm salty saying's wearing it. It's just funny. Like, oh, he's wearing number 10. It just always dawns on me. So yeah, he can do some great things in this number, man. And again, listening to the interviews with the players and defense and offense. I mean, you can tell as he's been named the starter, they're not holding back on what they think about him, right? Because you know how you kind of have a lack of wanting to gush over a player because you want to be fair to the other guy. Now it's just like they're gushing away about how great his arm talent is, how he can make all the throws, how he's an incredible quarterback. Jelani Thurman today, he was really going in about how great Julian is. So I'm excited, definitely excited about it. But again, the number 10, seeing him try it out there with that number, really coming off of, us doing the days until mentioning Troy Smith is just one of those things that just hasn't hit me yet. And I think it won't hit me until we see him go and ball out this year in that number. So I just wanted to say that, Nevada.
Well, the B Moses basketball number. What was your basketball number there, B?
So I had a couple. I had 40, 21. It just depended. But I ended out with 40. So
Has that number been retired by your high school yet? That's the big.
no, not at all.
See
Not
that's
at
just
all.
wrong. That's just wrong. We need to change that. We need to change hashtag retire B Moses'
Retires
number.
number.
Retire the number, man.
That's
Nobody else
funny.
should wear that number 40. I'm telling you.
But no, but seriously though, I wonder what the criteria is for retiring numbers. Like high school level, I mean, what do you got to do? And then, but specifically college, why isn't Troy Smith's number retired? Like, do you know the like? How does Ohio State? What's the level? Because
I
didn't
I,
they try to?
I want to say that they don't retire numbers or whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but to
don't.
say because
'Cause I mean, I don't think they retire. I mean, I, I don't want to sound stupid, but yeah, it's a great question. I should know the answer to that question, but
yeah,
I don't think they retire numbers. I don't think Ohio State does that, and because you think about all the great, if there was a number that's going to be retired, it'd be Archie Griffin, right? I mean,
right,
Archie, but a lot of people worn that number since then.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's I don't think Ohio State does that. But if you're at Colorado and you're Shador Sanders, man, you get that number retired right away within 6 months of.
That's funny. That's a nice
Yeah.
little slide in.
Come
But
on,
no, that
you had to
that was
admit that
good.
was
That was
funny.
good. That
That
was
was.
definitely good. But you're going to make me look this up or at least figure out like there has to be somebody with Ohio State that had a retired number, right? So, anybody in the chat? Come
I
on.
think Bill Willis. I think that's like the only number that's retired or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Your boy, Hop Along ain't what number? He was 40, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think the numbers are retired, man. I'm just telling you.
Okay. We gonna have to find this out because to
Well,
me
yeah,
it's just
We demand answers, man. We demand
Yeah, there has to
answers.
be a level of reverence somewhere. But then again, I haven't. Have you seen a prominent 40 in Ohio State football? I
Um,
I
it's
can't think
just
of
that.
any.
Well, I remember a great basketball player that was number 40, but that's a story for another day. You know what I'm saying? But I no, I don't. It doesn't. But that's not a great football number. I mean, 40.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, it's really not a great football number. But I'm sure somebody's worn it.
yeah. I just can't think of anybody good since Hop Along. So I don't know. I don't know. That's. I'm sure somebody will is nerding it up for us right now. They'll get it. They'll get it for us. But anyway. So yes, we're getting very close. And so as we get close, game plans are tightening up, scheme, things are getting really hammered down as to the direction and all that stuff. And it's really exciting to see the different weapons we have on display. So Nevada, let's kick it off. Tell me, what's your thoughts, man? I know it's a very good nugget dropped on the board today about the Texas game plan and things that's going into that. What you got on that?
Well, first of all, before we go, I want to always offer the disclaimer because inevitably these conversations, whenever discussions like that, where people feel like we're potentially giving aid and comfort to Texas, you know what I'm saying? By
Mm-mm.
giving away that, no, we're not doing that. We're shading stuff in a way that we'll keep it high level. We're not giving away anything with any specificity. Um, but I think the basic idea for the game, obviously, we've talked about moving JJ Smith around the field. And you and I talked earlier in the day, or at least we just texted earlier in the day, and we talked about how they even want to line him up in a kind of a pseudo tight end position. And when I put this originally on the board, people push back. Oh, Nevada, you're saying he's playing tight end? So, well, like, believe it or not, they did that last year with JJ Smith. I mean, they had
For sure
JJ
that.
Smith lining up at 10. So I shared a couple of screenshots with you so you can kind of see what we're talking about here. But they're trying to get him in non-traditional wide receiver positions. And the reason for that is because they want to be able to set up cover two and cover three cloud, beaters. And the way that you do that is you have to attack teams at multiple levels and put their defense, in some sort of peril where they have to make a choice so that they can't just bail out and take the ultimate, long spot. But you can see here on this first one, I mean, he's literally lined up as kind of a wing, offset tight end in that spot right there. And a lot of people may not remember that, but that's how they were doing it. And they liked what they kind of got out of that. They liked kind of bringing him inside. They like rolling him into the backfield. They like kind of splitting him out in kind of an offset. Dare I say the Percy Harvin spot, or in a traditional stand-up tight end spot, almost the way that Iowa used to stand up with their tight ends for years and years under Hayden Fry. So I think they're going to look for them to be moving JJ all over the field, doing things with him, interesting, the formations, interesting motions, different things to try to give them different looks to try to confound the defense. That's number one. Two, I would expect that they're going to be doing some strong stuff with cadence. The Texas players, the very highly regarded defensive players for Texas, love to jump the snap count. And one of the things that was, kind of working against us in the Cotton Bowl last year was that was a home game for Texas. I mean, that game was down
Yeah.
there in Dallas. It was absolutely a home game. 85% Texas, very, very loud. Well, yeah, we're going back to JDC. Look at him in that position right there. He's in a stand-up tight end spot. Now, a lot of people might have missed that last year. They might have been like, "Wow, I didn't think JJ did that." Well, no, that is literally tape from last year where he was in this stand-up spot. So they've done it before. They like what they're getting out of it, and I would expect you're going to see more and more of that. And look at that and think three or four different ways that they're going to present that. That's what you're going to be seeing against Texas in the horseshoe. Um, but back to the the cadence. They had to go with the silent count. They had to go with the look back. Carson has been tapping them on the rump and snapping the ball and doing the whole thing. Um, yeah, they're going to be working different cadences. Julian Sane is really, really good at drawing guys offside. And if you're loading up, if you're trying to jump the snap count, they're going to try to catch them. They're going to try to catch them, and that serves two purposes. One, you get yards in key spots and in spots when you really, really need them. But two, it just gives that moment of hesitation where they can't tee off and do stuff as fast as they want to do it. And the Texas guys love to get off. They love to get off on this thing. They love to be jumping the count. But this is one thing, one way you can do it, and one way you can kind of negate that with long counts, with hesitant cadences and altering the cadence. And Ohio State plans to do that as well. And I'd say the third thing is going to be the two back set. They really liked what they got last year out of when they had Quinshawn and Travion in the backfield. Well, they're going to do that with CJ and James Peoples. And, they like the 12 personnel with the two tight ends, but they like the two running back looks as well because they feel like that gives them an option, a run pass option where you can throw it to a guy out of the backfield or run it up with this guy as a lead blocker. And that's something that they feel like they can get numbers on Texas. So, yeah, I got some things in mind. As you said, the players are really bought in to Julian. Julian came into fall camp as kind of the prohibitive favorite, but he's leaving fall camp as an unquestioned team leader, even as a young. I mean, he's super young, never really taken a snap in anger at Ohio State, and but he's a guy they're rallying behind. He's a guy that they absolutely believe in, and I've said a long time ago, I think he'll outperform Arch Manning in this game. I'll say it again. I think Julian Sain's him. I think he's the most advanced uh, first time quarterback that I've ever seen at Ohio State. And I think he's ready to roll and to have a big game. And I think he's gonna give Texas fits. And I think we're gonna have a good game moving the football on August 30th.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And again, I mean, it was just funny watching all these interviews. And it's like the cat's out of the bag now. We can talk about it now. That's how it kind of came out. Like defensively, offensively, just Julian is that dude. And so, I'm just excited because again, he doesn't Funky said a minute ago, he can be why did I forget his name? 49ers quarterback, Purdy. Just be Purdy. Like we're not saying he has to come out and just be like otherworldly, just like crazy CJ Stroud against Georgia. No, but he is precise, he's accurate. And then one thing like Jelani Thurman and others were saying is that like he knows the offense, he knows his checks. Like it's not just that he can throw the ball well, but they were just talking about how much he knows the offense and how prepared he is to make checks, to be able to step up to the line, know what's going on, read defenses. I mean, it's that type of talk. And so obviously he has to go out there and do it. He has to show and prove. We get that. We understand that. But the gushing over him is just getting me even more excited. But going back to what you were saying, pointing out with JJ Smith, is you see the picture on the screen, and honestly, I missed the other formation where he was lined up, closer to the line of scrimmage, or I'm sorry, he was in in the backfield, kind of hiding. And so to me, it's like more of that, more of the defense chasing him around and having to account for him. Because to me, I know the defense it's almost like the defensive coordinator has to know that Ohio State knows that they're going to try to shut him down like they did last year and key in on him. But they also know that the Ohio State offense is going to try to make them overreact. So it's going to be a great cat and mouse game. But yeah, moving him around, getting the defense to overreact, to me, is just going to open up Carnell Tate. It's going to open up Mylan Graham. It's going to open up Brandon Ennis across the middle. It's going to open up Max Clare. It's going to open up Peoples out of the backfield, all of that. And with the two-back set, C.J. Donaldson, man, he's a brute. He's a brute. And so taking the torch from Trey Henderson, because I'm choosing to believe that these boys have been properly discipled by those guys who left, like a Henderson, like an Abuka, to be physical, to carry the torch. Because Henderson, the Patriots, their fans, if I could sing like Minnie Riperton, Nevada, I would sing "Loving You." That's how the New England Patriots fans and coaches are sounding about Henderson. They love him, not just his speed, but his physicality. I mean, it's just like, just go watch Buckeye games. Yeah, like maybe I didn't watch enough games, but anyway. So taking the torch from Henderson, I can see Donaldson in those two back sets really clearing the way, and Peoples too. Peoples is very capable of that too, with that very strong upper body and his speed and just physicality. So I'm super excited, man, about the potential of this game plan going into Texas and really making them pay. Because again, I'll end with this. Yes, I do believe we shot ourselves in the foot. The Trey Henderson decision, that was out of character. That wasn't him. He clearly made up for it. But we were about to roll. We were moving the ball. And so that kind of, made things a little closer. And I really think this offensive staff wants to get out there and get after it. And shoot, remember, even Carnell Tate dropped the touchdown pass. I mean, we weren't our complete, like the sharpest that we could have been. So I can really see this offensive staff saying, hey, we can go and do this even better this time and leave no doubt. And so I expect to see that in Nevada.
Well, question: do you know who Minnie Riperton's daughter is?
Yes, it is Maya Rudolph, isn't it?
Maya Rudolph, Minnie Riperton's
I
daughter.
knew that one.
Yeah, there you go. You did know that one. That was good. That was good. That was good. Minnie Riperton. Love you.
Oh
Come
man, I
on.
wish I could sing.
Because you're beautiful.
Shooting didn't did it. See, my voice is already cracking. But that's literally Julian Edelman and Patriots fans, like on podcasts. It's just like, oh my God, this Trey Henderson guy. They love him. So
Oh
let's
yeah.
pray that he stays healthy. And because if he
Trey Henderson,
does,
who a big portion of our fan base was calling for Dallin Hayden to start over Trey Henderson. Oh man, you weren't on the board back then, B. But dude, I got so much abuse when I'd be defending Trey Henderson, and I'm like, guys, he's a special talent. I'm telling you, I mean, he's going to be really good in New England. If you've got one of those keeper fantasy drafts or something like that, I suggest you take Trey Henderson because he's going to score a lot of points this year, man.
yeah, he's gonna be dope in fantasy, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And
he's
I
gonna be.
haven't played fantasy in a minute. Maybe I'll do it this year, but if I do, I'm definitely gonna try to get him. But yeah, he's gonna eat, man, because I really believe they're going to try to throw the ball to him. I mean, because
Yep.
if you look at the camp highlights, like the Patriots camp, you see multiple plays where he's just dusting linebackers, and even DBs, just on wheel routes and just killing them for touchdowns. So they're going to try to milk all of that draft pick out of Henderson this year. So definitely exciting stuff. But yeah, but anyway. So yeah, any other thoughts on the
Well,
game
I
plan?
yeah, I think that I mean, the biggest thing about the game plan is going to be that, for Ohio State, they feel like they feel like they've got a huge edge in the throwing game. They feel like they've got a huge edge in the throwing game over Texas's defenders. And I don't want to oversimplify this, but it's really just going to be a question of whether or not they can give Julian Saint time. If they give
Yeah,
Julian Saint time to throw, and we've talked about the long counts, we've talked about the screen passes, we've talked about other things that they can do to slow that pass rush down. But if they can slow that pass rush down, if those guys can just hold up in front, and a really good Texas defensive line, and a defense that likes to take chances. They like to try to create chaos there with doing things defensively to bring the pressure on a young quarterback like Julian saying. But if to me, that's the story of the offensive game. If we can just at least hold up to that, we don't need to dominate them. It doesn't need to be 7 blocks of granite where we're blowing them off the field. But as long as it's not just like the killing fields and they're just running through and just smacking a guy.
Yeah.
I think Julian's just going to feast. I think Julian's just going to feast, and I feel that's why you're seeing and hearing what you're hearing from the OSU offensive players, because they know that Julian he'll put the ball where it needs to be put. And when you have so many weapons and you're so deep with a wide receiver core, with a running back group that can catch the ball, and a tight end group that might be one of the best, the deepest in Ohio State history. If they can just give him just a basic amount of time, man, he's gonna have a big game. And I think it's I mean, I have questions about that only because you've got guys that are playing different positions. Like, I like the experience of the OSU offensive line, you know, but Austin's going to be a first time left tackle playing up against a premier pass rusher at Texas, and let's see how he holds up, because none of us really know how it's going. And I think that if I wanted to identify one weakness for the OSU offensive line, through spring ball and part of fall camp, it was holding up to the OSU defensive pass rush.
Yeah.
And so, as I've said before, either our pass rush is really good, or our offensive line isn't where they need to be from a pass rushing or pass blocking standpoint. Now, part of that's the reason why Austin got moved to left tackle and Ethan's not in there anymore too. So that they've kind of solved some of that with personnel issues, and and Ethan's getting better, but I think he's going to be better from the right tackle spot as opposed to the left tackle spot. But it's like, to me, watch that. If you're watching the game, if you're an Ohio State fan, you're watching the game, you want to see how the game's going to be going. Just watch those battles up front. When it goes back, if we can get stalemates, if we're just not having guys run past our guys, Julian's going to eat, because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I'm going all into the Julian is him. He is that guy. He is that quarterback. And you want to know, like, do we have that guy at quarterback? Yes, we have that guy, and we just got to give him time. And I think that if they give him time, I think that Ohio State feels like they've got a huge edge in the passing game, and I think they'll pass to set up the run, and that'll make for a long afternoon for Texas here on the Horseshoe.
Yeah, definitely. If we keep him clean, it's a wrap. I really believe that. Like, I mean, I can't see them stopping our offense if Julian has time to throw. I mean, because listen, they run that zone defense very well, but again, when you have such a great tight end like Max Clare, and tight ends, because I think Jelani Thurman can really step up and do some things. It becomes easier to find holes in the zone when you have such a great tight end or tight ends that you have to account for. And so, at the end of the day, you can always dump it off, to Claire. And Claire was talking about the ball that Julian throws and how, it's just a pretty ball. Like, it's just easy to, I mean, they were just gushing over how he throws the ball and how easy it is to catch. And so, yeah, I'm excited about it, man. Because I do think we're going to have a plan for Simmons. I know Simmons and Hill; those are the two mains. I think there are other guys or bigger guys who aren't necessarily the best pass rushers, more run stuffers. But keeping Simmons in check, and Hill, and making sure he doesn't disrupt the middle of the line, by blitzing, timely blitzes, delayed blitzes. He's a freak, so we got to keep our eyes on him too. But yeah, if we keep Julian upright, it's going to be a long day for their defense. Now, obviously, on the flip side, we have to hold serve on D as well and keep Arch in check, because he's a threat with his legs, and so we have to be disciplined, and hold the edge, be disciplined, don't get out of position, or he has the speed to pick up 20 quick if there's a crease. So, but anyway, but yes, I think you're right, Nevada. And when I'm not going to get into score predictions yet, but my mind is going about a score prediction. I'm gonna be thinking about this, man, because a part of me has been thinking this is going to be a close game. Like, like 50-50, I give us the edge because we're at home, but I'm gonna be thinking about this the next few days. We won't do any score predictions till next week, but I'll say this: if they keep saying clean, it my prediction, my thoughts might change a little bit as far as the score margin. But anyway, what you got?
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think, and I'll tell you, Ohio State isn't. They don't believe this game has to be close. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like that. Like they're not like, hey guys, yeah, this is a coin flip, and we'll be lucky to hang in there and try to steal. I mean, they don't think this game has to be close. They feel like they've got a real edge in the passing game, like a real edge. And I think that's probably going to be the story of just about every game this year for Ohio State, where Ohio State's going to be a favorite in just about every game this year. I would think with almost without exception, and they're going to have a decided edge in the passing game because I don't think there's ever been a wide receiver group quite like this. I mean, this is a really, you're starting off with J.J. Smith, which nothing more needs to be said about, and then you go down the list and you're like, how many first round draft picks are behind him? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I mean, Cardinal take guaranteed first round draft pick. Brandon Innes, I don't know if he is or not. We'll see. Hope so. Hope Mylan Graham. I think Mylan Graham's that guy. Max Clare. Yeah, I think he's a first round pick. I mean, we've got a lot of first round picks that are going to be floating through the defensive backfields. And I just think it's going to be a target-rich environment for a guy like Julian saying, who really likes to throw the ball. And I've compared him to a young Aaron Rodgers. That's how he throws it. Aaron Rodgers threw such a beautiful ball. Heck, he made James Jones a all-pro wide receiver,
yeah,
that
yeah.
15 touchdowns in 1 year, and he used to just stick it into his arm right there, just like force the guy to catch it because he was so precise. But that's what Julian is. Julian's that guy where he's just putting the ball right where it needs to be. That ball's coming in without any flutter. It's very easy to catch. And yeah, I mean, but I agree with you. I don't believe the game has to be close. And I think if Ohio State gets it going from a passing standpoint, I think the game won't be close. But that's, like you said, we'll get into more score predictions as we get closer to the game. But that's
Yeah.
definitely how I'm feeling as well.
Yep. Enough said. All right. Listen, let's go ahead and get into some super chats because we got them starting to stack up a little bit, and there's some good comments to really eat off of. So let's dive in. All right. Wrench Warrior DIY. Thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. Thanks for the 9.99. His comment, thanks for giving my channel a shout out last night. I truly appreciate the support. I look forward to the show every day. Can't wait for the game. It's a great time to be a Buckeye. OH, Nevada?
Oh,
Yeah, man. Listen, I just got hip to you last night and I've already subscribed. And so, you'll be helping me out in the future with the next leak or the next crack or whatever. I'm going straight to your channel. So, yeah, greatly appreciate it for the work that you do. Because, us husbands and dads and DIYers are definitely appreciative of it. Nevada, what you got?
yeah, Wrench Warriors DIY, which is do it yourself. And hey, if you're looking for stuff to be able to help on these everyday types of chores around the house, it's a great channel for you, and a great Buckeye, great support of the Scoop. And we're just glad to help out any way that we can. And so, like I said, you've got a local business or a local thing you want pumped, send me something at buckeyescoop@gmail.com, and we'll try to hit it up. As again, we're a part of a big family here, and we're happy to help out any way we can.
Amen. All right, Karis, thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. Thanks for the 9.99. B Moses, a shirt with Scoop. You know what time it is. Horns down. OH Nevada.
I
That's dope. That's actually a dope idea. I like that. I might have to seriously consider that because again, with this shirt, I look, just a side note. I've had a t-shirt business running in my head for years. Like I literally got so many t-shirt ideas on my phone of stuff to do. So now I'm just like, man, let me try this. So with this, I've been wanting to do this. I'm like, let me throw this on the shirt, kind of gauge how people like it. But the nostalgia of the Tecmo Bowl and just, every Tecmo Bowl Nintendo gamer head should light up when they see these four plays, the two runs and the two passes. And Stilly asked me earlier who I use. Listen, you know who I use. I use the Raiders, Bo Jackson. Every time it was a 100 yard run with Bo Jackson almost every play. Did you play Tecmo Bo, Nevada?
It's funny because I did not play Tecmo
Oh
Bowl,
wow.
but I am familiar with the Bo Jackson glitch in the game where he was pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah.
Um, no, I mean I go back to like I played photo electric football. I played like I mean I played the original games where you put like the little men on the board and the board would
Oh, that
vibrate
yes.
and thing would move around and fall over and stuff like that. And I thought it was really cool. I mean, I thought that was like
Oh
really
man.
really, really cool. Then you stuck like a little like foam football under their arm and they kind of move with it and you set up little guys and stuff like that. I mean, and they go backwards and spin around. And I mean, it was horrible. It was truly horrible. But
I forget somebody in my family. I don't know if it was an uncle, my grandpa. Somebody had that when I was a
yeah,
kid. So I
yeah.
remember experiencing and then you said, like I remember that noise. So you just took me back, but that is hilarious. Like
Yeah.
old. No
Old,
offense.
old, old, old. No, it was bad. It was bad. Old football. But Tecmo Bowl, I somehow I missed that because I played just about every football. I played the football games where you the ones at the arcade, with the
Hmm.
football. Well, I don't know if you remember that one. The one if you were the quarterback and you ran over the line, then all the defensive guys would go and then you come back on the line and you could throw a long pass and throw a touchdown every time. That was kind of the glitch on that game right there.
What was that? Sounds familiar. Was it NFL Blitz? No, I don't think it was
I
NFL
can't remember what
Blitz.
it was, but it was the one you just had a little guy. Not like I mean, again, this is old, old, old. This is when I used to go to the arcade. Like I don't know, did you ever go to the arcade when you were a kid?
I
Like
did not like crazy, crazy, but I did.
I mean, that's what you do. You put your quarters up on the thing to get the next game, and you play and do stuff like that, and you hang out there on Friday and Saturday nights at the arcade. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, good old fashioned fun.
Indeed. All right. Will the Thrill, thanks for the 4.99. Gus Johnson called Caleb Downs the boogeyman last year. We need to make that stick. Boogeyman is coming to get you, Arch. Horns down, OH Nevada.
Oh,
What's your thought on that nickname? I agree. I think that's a good nickname.
the Boogeyman. I mean, that's his good name. I mean, that's a good name. I mean, I mean, I think you could think of a lot of good names for him, the Terminator, the Eraser, but the
Yeah.
Boogeyman's a good or Boo. We could go back to that Dan Colson. Boo. Boo. I want to bring that
Boo.
one. Boo. Dan
Boo.
Colson. Boo. Boo. Come on.
Hey, listen,
Caleb,
it's
Caleb Boo Downs. Come on.
Caleb
That's
Boo Downs. Listen, it's really up to Gus. I mean, just like the Maserati Marv. I mean, he said it ad nauseum. Now, I liked it. Some people hated it, but I thought it was hilarious when he kept saying that over and over again. Maserati Marv. So it's really up to Gus. He can really blow it up if he keeps saying the boogeyman. You know what I mean?
Boo. Boo.
So or the boogie man,
Boo. No. Oh,
combine.
no. Look at you. You Moses fan. I'm telling you.
That's a
Killing
game day sign. Somebody use that for game day, and then just give me credit.
Yeah, and money. Give credit
Yes,
and a small commission.
right, for sure. All right, what we got here? Roll. Thanks for the 4.99. They did retire numbers, but Urban stopped it, if I remember correctly. I think O State asked Archie for his permission to let Andy Katz wear 45. You know what? I thought that was true too. I thought the 45 was pulled back out, Nevada, for Big Cat. I'm gonna have to do some research, man, because I'm curious about this now. I got to get my Jack Park on and get the history of this. So thank you, Ro.
Yeah,
I think you're right
yeah,
about that. Go
yeah.
ahead.
There's some weird thing with the numbers for sure, but yeah, Andy Katzenmoor getting the 45 was kind of cool. That was
Yeah.
kind of cool. And if there ever was a guy to give it to, that was definitely the guy to give it to. And Archie, I don't know how well you know Archie, but Archie's like just the best guy. I'm just the best, most humble,
Yeah.
unassuming, do anything for the program, has no ego about anything. And so he'd be the first one to allow a number to be used to, lure somebody in or get somebody on the field. So a true yeah, I always say with Ohio State football players, man, in your life is set. All you have to do is just be nice to people, and nobody has lived that better than Archie Griffin. Archie Griffin
Yeah.
is he's just a nice guy, truly nice guy, and obviously a great player. But what a credit to Ohio State University for sure.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. I've met him a couple times. What's funny is one time, guess where I seen him at? On the Humble one time, just randomly. Guess where I seen Archie Griffin? This is years ago.
Where?
At the BMV,
Oh
getting his
wow.
license updated.
Oh wow. Like the rest of us, was he sitting in
like
line for like hours and stuff like that?
like the rest of us. Now, this was years ago. This was before online. This is before the kiosk at Meyer. You get your sticker. You had to go in there. So I saw him and he was cool. I didn't fanboy him. It was just one of those, hey Archie, it's like, hey, whatever. It was just like a cool conversation. I mean, he was like just a dude, like a guy. And so, and then I met
Just
him
a
another time.
just
You
a
said
guy
what?
waiting, just a guy waiting at the DMV.
Just yeah, getting cussed out by the clerk, just like all of us are. I said your license and your registration.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
dang,
I'm sorry. I'm really
like, do you know
sorry.
who this is? This is the two-time. I don't care who he is. Get in line. But anyway, but yeah, he's definitely cool, down to earth guy, man. So there's that. Okay, all right. Lisa Scherer, thanks for the 4.99. FYI, pronounced sheer. What are Arch's three biggest vulnerable abilities? Okay, thank you for the correction. Because what I've been saying, Scherer. I'm sorry, my bad. Thank you for the correction. Lisa Shear. What are Arch's three biggest vulnerable abilities? Nevada, you want to tackle that?
Well, you're talking about Arch Manning's biggest vulnerabilities on the field.
I think that's what she's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say one, I mean, I think Arch is a guy that if you take away his primary read, I'm not sure, he has demonstrated ability, and maybe he will against us, but he has not demonstrated ability to come off that yet. I think he's a little bit of a one read guy right now. One, two, he'll run with the football, but I'm not saying he's frail or whatever, but you can hit him and you can hurt him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not a big sturdy guy. And I think, that's something, for sure. And I think he'll put the ball in danger. I mean, he's confident with the ball, but he'll put the ball in harm's way. If you present him with certain looks and stuff like that. So I think you can
Yeah.
turn him over. So I would look for the OSU defense to try to take advantage of all those things. Um, but the biggest thing is going to be he's never played in front of a crowd like he's going to come into. The noise is going to be absolutely deafening him, and that's his biggest vulnerability is just his inexperience in terms of dealing with an environment like he's going to walk into on August 30th. So that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah. And listen, we're making room for his growth from last year to this year. All we can go off of is last year's film. And so yeah, I did see him standing in the pocket too long, patting, looking, not trusting. I've seen him get, heated up with like pressure and throwing it to harm's way, like Nevada said. That's definitely something. And then also, there was some deep balls that I saw that weren't that great. So listen, I expect him to grow and improve. But how much has he grown and improved? And it's one thing to test out the growth and improvement in the offseason with UTEP week 1. You know what I'm saying? And then Troy week 2. But you got to come into the shoot week 1 and put that improvement or the work you've put in to the test. That is a tough thing. So yes, he's talented, but that's definitely a test for Arch. And so again, and the other thing is with his legs that can be dangerous. From what I saw against really good East-West athletes that can run you down, he's not Braxton Miller. He doesn't have explosive cutback ability where he just juke you up in the open field. He's more of a, if there's a seam, he can cut and go. But he's not about to, like just kill you. I mean, he has to have a lane from what I saw. And if he does, you better bring him down because he's fast, faster than you think. So that's kind of my take on that. But all right. Debates blueprint. Thanks for the 499. I think JS10, I like that, is better equipped to carve up a zone D better than Will Howard, in my opinion. You need a BPS to loosen it up, then go over the top. JJ, Brandon Ennis, and Carnell Tate will be crucial. You know what? I would agree. I do think saying with his quick release, his processing, I would agree with that take, Nevada, that he would be better at carving up a zone defense just off the strength of that alone. Now, Will wasn't bad. He definitely got better as the year ended. And I think he made some really, pinpoint throws against that Texas D that was like, dang, that almost got picked off, or it seemed like it, but he fitted it in there. I think saying is definitely, I think he could be better than that. What you think?
Yeah, I think Julian's a better. I mean, Julian's gonna go down as one of the best pure passers that we've ever had here. I mean, just in terms of pure arm talent, he's clearly an upgrade over Will. Now, is he a better quarterback? Well, I have a weak spot for big, sturdy guys that can run the football and present that real dual threat thing. So I'm a big Will Howard fan as well. But I completely agree with the idea that from just a passing standpoint, man, Julian's a rare talent. And you're all going to see it. You're all going to see it on August 30th, man. Because I'm telling you, you're going to watch the game. You'll leave the game. I guarantee you win, lose, draw, whatever. You're going to leave the game kind of going, man, that Julian Sainz is going to be really good here at Ohio State because he can spin it. And I think that given what Texas is going to try to do to us defensively, I think his particular talents, he's uniquely equipped to take advantage of what they're going to present to us. So I agree, he's going to have a big game.
So, real quick, some stats from earlier pertaining to this that I thought was interesting. This is from Garrison on Twitter. First year starting QB numbers under Ryan Day since 2018. Haskins, Fields, Stroud, McCord. It says that it has a high and a low. And the numbers are rounded. 40 touchdowns, high is 50, low 24. 6 interception, high is 8, low is 3. 69% completion, high is 71.9, low is 65.8%. And he says, what are your expectations for Julian Sayin? So, yeah, it just kind of gives you like a touching point of the damage he can do in this offense with these weapons. Because you could argue we've had some great receivers, but you could argue, Nevada, before we move on to the next super chat, you can argue that this is the most stacked weapons that any of those quarterbacks had because you're adding Max Clare. Do you think that's goofy, or am I spot on?
No, I think you can make an argument for it being the best set of offensive weapons we've ever had at Ohio State. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's maybe somebody else could show me one that they think's in the ballpark, but you're gonna have to start with a better wide receiver than J.J. Smith. Not gonna find him, and you have to find at the same time a better tight end than Max Clare. Not going to find him. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be we're gonna be on the fringes of having that discussion right off the bat. But no, I think it's the best group of skill position players that we've maybe ever had. And Julian's certainly a guy that's well equipped to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and on top of that, we're really high on our O line. I mean, we need to see it, but I'm very confident in this O line. So that's another element to consider. All right. Let's see. Roll, thanks for the 499. Can you give me Scoop's opinion on the ceiling of CJ Hicks and Kenyatta Jackson this year? How good can they be, Nevada?
Well, first I'll start with Kenyatta Jackson. I haven't been a huge Kenyatta Jackson fan up until now. Not, and that's not personal. It's just an observation where I'm saying I don't think he's given I don't think he's made a huge impact at Ohio State. Well, that's changed because he's changed and he's upped his game considerably.
Yeah.
So, how good can Kenyatta Jackson? I mean, he can be dominant. I mean, Kenyatta Jackson can be that guy, and if he continues on the trajectory that he's been showing through the spring and in fall practice, he could have like I'm not saying he's going to be a Bosa or Chase Young or Will Smith or something like that, but he can be a notch below those guys. I mean, he can be a dominant pass rusher, run defender, dominant defensive end. As for CJ Hicks, they're using him in some really interesting ways. He'll let's put it this way, he'll be as good as he can be under Matt Patricia. And
Yeah.
CJ Hicks is part of the reason why Ethan Onao is not playing left tackle right now, because CJ Hicks was destroying Ethan in pass rushing situations, so much so that they moved him to right tackle. So I think CJ Hicks can be good. I want to see it. I want to temper my enthusiasm, but he's got the right skill set, and he's certainly got the right defensive coordinator to put him in a position to be impactful. And that's really all I want CJ Hicks to do. I just wanted to make an impact. Go out there, be a difference maker, use that God-given ability to bend around the corner, that flexibility, that burst that we all know that he has, and put it to good use, because we need it, because we don't have, again, Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, Will Smith, the defensive end. But if you can get guys in there that can bend, that can work on those twists on the inside and really kind of provide that pressure, you can make a big difference with it. And a nugget tomorrow on kind of on the defensive game plan for the Texas game, but I think CJ Hicks could feature prominently in it.
Yeah. And one thing that the offensive line and tight ends have consistently said is Hicks is one of the toughest guys to block. Yes, he's not as big as your typical DN like Kenyatta, but they said he's strong and his speed is a problem. Jelani Thurman was talking about that today, his speed and his power. So yeah, I mean Hicks, to me, it's there, and I agree with Nevada. If anybody could bring it out of him, it's Patricia, and knowing how to use a guy like that. So I'm very excited because if he can come on and be like a legitimate, consistent, trustworthy threat, that's going to be awesome for this defense, because it'll allow our DNs who are first time starters. I know they played. I know Caden Curry has played a lot. Kenyatta has played a lot, but they haven't been the starters. So having a guy like Hicks in there who can bring like consistent speed rush and really make it hard for tackles, that's going to be a luxury, man. And I know some of the players are calling him Abdul Carter. I hope so. We'll see. All right. Mike Green, what's good, bro? Thanks for the 199. Nevada, remember that guy calling Trey soft? Haha, talking to you, Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that was something. Those were the days. They accused me of like him being my like illegitimate son, or just like, I mean, it was crazy. They're like, how can you like Trey something? I'm like, because I can recognize excellence, because I love running, I love great players, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, soft. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, have you ever had plantar in your foot?
Mm-mm.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the worst. And
I've heard.
like,
I've heard.
I mean, it's terrible. I mean, it's terrible just to walk on it, like literally just like to get out of bed in the morning and walk to the door. It's hard, let alone to try to play football on it with ruptured tendons in your foot and plantar. I mean, I can't believe that he even went out there and just tried to gut it out and tried to do it,
Yeah.
because it's so incredibly painful. But yeah, no, but I'm glad that we got a chance to see him, full strength. And I think a big part of that was getting Quinshon in here. The fact that he didn't have to carry the whole load, the
Yeah.
fact that they had a 1A, 1B type of situation. That's what I like we have with James Peoples and CJ Donaldson this year. Is we've got, two good running backs, and then Turbo and Bo that can kind of come in there as 3, 4. But I think that'll help the wear and tear, especially in a long 16, 17 game season like this. But yeah, Trey was never soft, man. Trey ran through people. Trey ran too hard, if anything. There was
Yeah.
nothing soft about that guy.
Yeah. And I bet you nobody's calling him soft now. That's for
Call,
sure.
call him Rich. That's what they're calling him.
Right. Rich. And also just a reminder, like, because people were saying he's soft because he kept getting injured, but he was cheap shotted at Notre Dame in that pile.
Yeah,
Ribs.
that was bad. Yeah, that was
You know what I'm
bad.
saying? It's just like, so it's just stuff like that, but it's all good, man. His legacy is solidified. He is a Buckeye legend and hero, and he's about to be an NFL star. So miss us with all that soft crap. All right. SC Buckeye, thanks for the 499. Thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. T-shirt idea, Ohio State, we're national champions and earned, not stolen. I like it. I like it. National champs across the chest, and then maybe like earned and then not stolen underneath. I like it. Or national champs without cheating. Either way, I love it. remind those bums for all of eternity that they cheated. And that's what we're going to do. What you got on that, Nevada?
Well, it's been, kind of on a related note. It's just been fun to see all the national media go in on
Yes.
on, on Michigan. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
people were saying for years, well, why isn't that happening? The national media doesn't care. And I'm like, because they don't know. They
Right.
don't know what we know. Once they know, once they see it, the whole thing's going to change. And when I say a little at first, then all at once, well, that's exactly what's happened now. Do the Michigan people care? Now the Michigan people are so despicable. I don't know, yeah, but I know it bugs them. It would
It
bug
does.
me if I knew that this thing was stolen like that, and that everybody knew and everybody was calling it out. But that's forever going to be their legacy, man. That
Yep.
for you, regardless, I think this whole thing. I've kind of made peace with this 2-year bowl ban that that they should have been on. 'Cause I think they're going to be on a bowl ban anyway. They're going to be on a postseason ban anyway because they're going to suck. They're on the suck ban, and
Yeah.
so I think does it really make that much difference? No, but they're nationally they are forever going to be known as the cheaters. That thing is going to be forever tainted. Harbaugh, that's going to be a big part of Harbaugh's legacy, man. No matter what he does in it, that's going to be a big part of his legacy, and I love that. It couldn't happen to a more disgusting bunch of people.
Yep. And it's funny. You gotta every now and then, or not every now and then, with situations like any big story, you usually have a few contrarians that try to go against the grain. I've seen none of that. It's all they cheated, tainted, fraudulent. Stephen A. was the late. I was waiting on Stephen A. Because he already went on them before the sanction came out a couple of years ago. I mean, he went in on them, and so yeah, the national media, even those who are supposedly Michigan people, have been going in, and rightly so. So no Michigan fans, and like Intrinsic says, shout out to Intrinsic. He talks about how insecure they are about their cheating. They're very insecure. And they go to great lengths to come on your message board or your page and try to argue with you that it's legit. It's not legit. We can all see it's not. So stop it. Okay. We don't respect it. Nobody respects it. Regardless of the NCAA not doing their job, what they should have done according to their own bylaws and rules, that doesn't exonerate you. Okay. That's what they're trying that's what they're trying to push as well, Nevada. They're trying to push that they're exonerated because they didn't get the actual punishment that comes with their level of infractions, which is failure to
The
monitor aggravated.
the required punishment, the
The
punishment that was
required punishment. That's the words. We're not
that
making that
literally,
up.
yeah, literally go read, guys. Take your time, read the decision. It says a postseason ban is required in this case. That's literally what it says. And instead, they gave him financial penalties. I'll never understand that,
Because of
but
the kids. We care about the kids now.
yeah, what a bunch of crap.
Yep. So it is what it is, but we will forever remind y'all that you cheated. And that's just it. And it's not just us. The whole nation will, buddy. From the SEC to the pack, if whatever's left of the pack, the Big 12, everybody. All right. So there's that. All right. Roll. Thanks for the 499. Because of all the weapons, who on O State's offense has the easiest job to eat? I'm guessing the slot receiver or running back. What you got on that, Nevada?
I'm going Max Clare. I think Max Clare is gonna feast because you just got to pay so much attention to the wide receivers.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna come in. He's new. You're talking about a guy that caught 50 passes last year as the primary. Well, I mean, he was the only weapon that Purdue had,
Yeah.
and he still caught 50. I mean, that's how good, that's how talented this guy is. So I'll say Max Clare if I had to pick one, but certainly I think the running backs are going to be benefactors as well because JJ and Carnell and Brandon and Milan, all those guys are going to require an awful lot of attention because if you're not paying attention to them, they're going to punish you big time.
Yeah, I would agree with Claire. I would also say Ennis, though. That's my 1B is Ennis, just because, you know, Tate and Jeremiah Smith are the two future first round picks, right? And so, I mean, it's natural to gravitate towards them. And Ennis is a tough, physical guy who's willing to do the dirty work underneath. So he's another valve. He's another flip it to him. Him and Claire. So I'm gonna go with Ennis as the other guy. All right. Mike Green. Thanks for the 499. Yeah, so my car got keyed at the gym here in Florida because of my OSU plates, or maybe it was my MAGA hat. Either way, go Bucks. Nevada OH.
I
People still key cars. That's so 90s.
Oh man, I know.
People still key cars, but yeah, that's crazy, man. You better have the gym check the camera footage, man, and get your lawyer on it. That's crazy.
It's probably Counter Stallions. It's probably Counter Stallions down
It's
there doing
probably
that.
kind of Titans.
I bet you. Just look for some guys slurping around there. I bet it was Stallions.
Oh man, probably was. Probably got the little, old school glasses with the nose attached to it and the mustache.
Recording glasses there with the nose
Oh
attached to it.
man.
What a clown.
Good Lord. All right. Mike Green, once again, thanks for the 199. The Geek Reporter said no rotation at CB, really. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. I don't know about that. I mean, we've been pretty consistent with rotating at least, like you got your two starters and then you got like Jermaine Matthews last year. He came in and we even, in lesser matchups, we brought in Aaron Scott and Bryce West, but I definitely think there's going to be a third corner and not the nickel when Caleb's not there, but a third corner that comes in. I'd be very shocked if Aaron Scott or Bryce West is not one of those that third corner to get in meaningful games and provide some reps. What you think about that, Nevada?
Well, you also got Lorenzo Styles Jr. and you also got
Yeah,
Devin Sanchez, who you want to talk about who is him on the defensive side?
yeah,
Devin Sanchez is him. I mean, he's a big timer, man. He just everything about him just screams gonna be great and just
yeah.
a matter of time. He just needs the opportunity, but don't be surprised when he makes a big play at some point because he's not going to be a secret for long very much in the future. People are going to know that guy for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely he looks the part. I know some people are is a little lofty, but have said he's the JJ Smith of the defense. But I don't know about that. But he's definitely a stud. That's for sure. So definitely looking forward to seeing him on the field in the future. But I think he'll be out there this year, and some garbage time and stuff like that. And I just don't know if he's going to hop over Aaron Scott and Bryce West right now with their experience and talent as well. But just another upcoming stud, man. But anyway, that was it for the super chats. So another great show, inching closer, getting into single digits tomorrow, and I already have a pretty good idea of where I'm going with my days until. And so I think I might have to mess around and do a 1A, 1B, and an honorable mention. Maybe 3 honorable mentions. I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely ooh, actually. Ooh.
Wait a second.
Now,
David Boston number 9. Was David Boston number 9?
yes, he was, but I would not confirm or deny
Oh,
if I'm going to go with that or
man.
not.
Oh man, I could do the David Boston dance where he like kind of walks in the end zone like he did when Joe Germaine threw the ball. That's my favorite. I'll do
Yeah.
that for you when I see you there, baby. Like doing the thing, you'd be like, "Oh, that's David Boston in the Rose Bowl," and I'd be like, "Yeah."
You talk about the freak athletes, like the big that dude was just ridiculous. How big he was for a receiver with his size and speed was incredible. But yes, number 9, there's some sleepers and some really good ones tomorrow. So I'll definitely be prepared for that. But any last words before we hop off, Nevada?
No, tomorrow night we're going to be featuring. Well, we may have special guests tomorrow. We may have special guests. One of my favorite number 7, I believe number 7. If
That's a
I'm
good
not
hint.
mistaken, yeah, the good hint,
No, you're
good hint.
not.
But
That's good.
that's good, number 7. So
Yep. So
we're big show tomorrow night. Can't wait for it. Looking forward to it.
absolutely. And we got more guests coming for you down the pike as well. But tomorrow, a great one, a fun one. So make sure y'all tune in. Buckeye Scoop family, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And go Bucks. See you then.